Life is like The Sims. It's a game. It's all about managing your wants, needs, and desires with your feelings at the same time. You will look to improve your relationship, work, life goals, but you also have to manage it with the feelings of the sim. So if you're making your sim work all day and then come home and he's studying all day, or trying to read books all evening, your sim will quickly get kind of frustrated and annoyed. And the idea with The Sims is, how do you balance this? How do you balance the ambitions that you want in the game? So maybe that's to go up the work ladder, to earn more money, and so maybe you can get the big house and new TV and all the other bits that you get really excited about when you play The Sims. But you got to balance this between how the actual sim wants and needs. You got to do all these things too. And the thing that I've been thinking about is, I'm a massive nerd and I love gaming, but I really feel that life kind of feels like this too. It just feels like a big game. But life is tougher to play than The Sims at times. And because we just don't have the same like little bars of life to know what's going on. So we don't know when, the food meter is going down, so you have to feed. Okay, that's maybe a bit easier to understand, but what about, if the sim, is getting frustrated or annoyed or angry, these things are a bit harder to kind of figure out. And then after that, even just what happens after that is just knowing what to do next. What do you do whenever you actually realize? But you can, I think, spot the signs. That we don't have the little bars that you can get in Sims, but I think that you can kind of see it in if we are getting frustrated or angry, or if we're getting sad, or we're getting burnt out. These are the kind of signs that kind of show us there's something that we're maybe not fulfilling. We're not fulfilling a need at. So emotions are a great way to kind of give us a bit of an idea of what we might be kind of not focusing on. So where is that? Yeah, and I guess one thing that I kind of talk about a lot is kind of that self-awareness, which is it comes through just kind of mindfulness, or just being self-aware. You can do it through meditation's one, I talked about it before, but it can come through journaling, it can come, just therapy. There's a lot of ways that you can kind of learn a bit more about yourself and what's kind of going on the inside. And I think that's just really helpful to, we're all kind of looking for the external things, maybe that's easier, the ambitions in The Sims, the working up the work ladder to get more money, to get the things. We're kind of good at understanding these things, but I think that it's more difficult to understand, okay, what's the difficult parts, when it starts to get a bit frustrating or annoying and all that kind of stuff. So that's the game of life. So there's the game of Sims, and then there's the game of life. And am I still recording this? Okay, it's still recording, that's good. And I think just, I wanted to share this because of two things. I think the first being, it's a beautiful sunset. Oh, I'm just getting distracted. A little kite. Why did I want to share this? Yeah, I think there's two things. I think one, there's three things actually. The first being just an idea. I think it's having an idea that life is kind of like a game. And if we can kind of look at it the same way that we can look at The Sims, then it kind of makes the real life, a bit easier, I always think. Because if we can appreciate and play The Sims and we can enjoy the game, for what it is, which is like, we're trying to like play the game, we're trying to progress, but we also have to balance it with actual, the needs of the Sims. And you gotta like, can't just, work all day, study to go up the work ladder as fast as possible. You got to balance it with the other needs as well, which might be like socializing or building relationships and having fun, having hobbies. And if we can understand that when playing the game of Sims, then maybe we can take that idea and just bring it into our everyday life a bit. And it's kind of like gamifying life. And I really do feel like, life is kind of like a game, and it's just about learning how to play with it. So I think that's kind of like the first reason I wanted to share it. The second reason would be, I think today in general, it's just been like a tough few days over on my side. And I think, I'm projecting, I'm that Sim who's been kind of pushing myself to do too much and working and putting pressure on myself. And I've just been kind of getting a bit down and a bit kind of frustrated. I'm getting more annoyed, getting a bit burnt out. And yeah, so the second thing would probably that I want to share is I want to share the full picture. And I think that's a big thing that I'm trying to do at the moment, is trying to be completely truthful and honest about the good and the bad, and kind of sharing both sides. Because I feel like that's like authenticity. And if I want to create anything or share anything, I don't want to do it in a way that kind of gives the full picture. And then just on that, I've been thinking about like authenticity and like what it kind of means, and I feel like it's not just one thing, it's two things. So it's like if I share something good, it's not that I'm looking for approval. And then likewise, if I share something bad, it's not as if I'm looking for sympathy. Like what I'm really just trying to do is try to give you and to me just a real picture of like what life is really like. And I feel like that's all I want to do whenever I create and share things, is to do it as real as I can, because I think that it's too easy to kind of share the good bits. I can be like, hey, look at me in Bali, you know what I mean? Like, go after your dreams and all this kind of like inspirational stuff, and that's cool too, and that's good. But I think that there's like enough of people who are doing that at the moment, and then maybe there'd be space in the world for more people to kind of turn up and share, both sides, and at the same time not go to the other side where, just putting out problems in the world and expecting other people to kind of solve them. So that's kind of the second point. And I think that the third point would be, I think it's always a thing where, like, if you're someone out there who, like, I hope that you can get something from this rambling of a video, and maybe that thing that I would hope would be that, like life can be like a game, and to embrace that and to enjoy it as much as possible and to use it and to, I guess this is what the whole lifestyle design thing that I kind of talk about and I like to think about and like to think about life is kind of basically this idea, which is just, gamify life and to make it whatever you want it to be. Because I think that's how you can go through life and make it the best life that you can possibly be. Happy, joyful, fulfilled. And it's not that it's always going to be good and it's always going to be easy. It's not. But I think that viewing life in this way can be very helpful. And if you are having a tough time, know that that's okay too. And maybe that's a sign that your sim is finding a tough time, like you as a sim is having a tough time. So maybe there's things that you can look at and to go, okay, what might be helpful? So, for example, for me today, I kind of took some time off today and I came to the beach and I had my little poke bowl, I had some dinner, beach. I just kind of sat here and just looked at the waves, listened to some music. What else did I do? I did a little meditation I used Headspace, and my eyes were open. I wasn't making it a big deal. We dog kind of came over, and that was nice. I gave him a wee pet, while I was meditating, but it was more just to kind of take some time for myself. Yeah, maybe this evening, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do, but it's about a day of just trying to give myself a little bit of something, a bit of extra TLC. So if you're feeling like that, I hope that you can find your ways and how to fill up your other cups a bit. And if you can't figure out how to do that, then there's a line which I think is really good, which is this too shall pass. And sometimes just knowing that is kind of helpful, because maybe today is a tough day, but it too shall pass, or the other tough days before. So I hope this was helpful, and glad I did it. But thanks, and stay awesome, my guys.